one of the things that you can see on our farm is that the ground is not exposed. It's totally covered with a lush green grass. The grass doesn't of course remain green all the time. It remains green for about 6 to 7 months in the year, especially the years when it is raining. And we pride ourselves on this cover because it does many things. The first thing is that this farm is at a slope. From the top to the bottom there is a 1 meter dip, and so what happens is that when it rains the topsoil is washed away. The other thing is that there will be no moisture when there is no ground cover. So when it rains, the grass, which is so dense over here and so thick, slows down the water, and the water seeps into the soil, and we are able to retain most of the water within the farm. We are not letting it go out, and and it's soaking down to the root level of the trees and of the vegetables. So it is of great benefit. What we do is that we have an electric lawn mower, which is a rotor blade. That means it goes round, and the wire is about 115 feet long, and we have points at various places, and within about 7-8 hours we can mow the whole farm of 3 acres. The many things that this grass does is that it is a place also for insects to be able to find a house for themselves. They don't need to come and eat all our vegetables only. They have enough of food over there. It retains moisture also, and so where there's more moisture, the plants tend to do better around it. And of course the farm looks very beautiful. Before, the grass used to grow tall and thin, and then it used to fall down once it was too tall. It also then is a good place for snakes when the grass is too tall. When you cut the grass, what happens is that the grass still has to grow, so it starts to grow sideways, and so the grass becomes nice and thick and like a mat. So most people don't realize that just covering the earth with the grass or weeds and letting them grow and just maintaining them is one of the greatest ways to carbon sequestration. That means the ground cover is also pulling in carbon from the air and creating oxygen for you. And it is the tilling that happens all around the earth through tractors and digging that disturbs the soil and the fungus network that grows beneath the soil, which is very important for plants, for the uptake of minerals, as well as to bring other resources which are deficient for the plant. For example, there are families of fungus which have been existing for millions of years in the Amazon, each one being the size of a football field. Now what it does is this network, which is called Harting network, named after Mr. Harting, I presume. If a plant has a deficiency, like a tree, if it has a deficiency in water or in some soil, it will bring it from another region and give it to the tree or to the plant. The plant or the tree in return gives sugar to the fungus and to the bacteria. So it's got a symbiotic relationship. So we have a filtration system which has got small pebbles and charcoal. On top of that we have put a mesh, and these stones and charcoal, when the water comes in, it filters it, and when the water comes high enough, then it goes through a mesh, another mesh, and it comes down into another chamber. It comes into another chamber through which the water goes into the tank.
Rainwater collector.
Rainwater collector. Filtration. Drainage pipe that is coming from the roof, that has collected water from the roof, and it goes underground and it goes to connect to a filtration system near the tank. So we have no filtration system on the top, and we have totally for conserving water, that is fresh water, 26,000 liters for the farm. Of course, we are going to be making some more structures. So we are planning of creating another tank for about 15 to 20,000 liters more. One is right on the top because the water comes from the neighbors' plots, and it's again on a slope. So the first pit is on the top. The water percolates down over there. The excess water that comes, which has not been stopped by the grass or by the swales, the rest of the water comes into this big pit. There are several times in the year when the pit will be totally full. And why we have created this pit is so that the water does not go and gush towards the wall, and it has to go out. So it will try to make a hole and go under the wall, and it will go and disrupt somebody else's farm. So we are letting the water slowly seep into the ground. These are ways of conserving water. This conservation of water is not for us to use immediately, but if everybody has to do this on their land and let the water percolate and soak in, then the bore wells and the wells water will be very high. Everybody will benefit everybody. So you not only have to think of benefiting yourself, but you also have to think of benefiting society as a large, the environment, the flora, fauna around your area. Of course, as I was talking to you, you can just turn around and picture the grass over here. This is another way that we conserve water. This is one of the finest ways, because then when it rains, the grass cover, that is the soil cover, ground cover has soaked in so much of water that we don't need to water the farm for the next 2, 3, 4 days, sometimes for a week if the weather conditions are good. So these are our ways of conserving water, not only recycling it from the rooftop to drink for ourselves or to use for ourselves, but also conserving water for the plants, where you don't need to put it into a tank and then pump it out again using electricity and then water the plants to give more water. You give good compost cover and good ground cover, and you are conserving water for the plants, and the plants will store it in their roots and in the soil, and they will utilize it over and over the next few days, and no cost, absolutely no cost.